Yes, my new project, the property here, I already showed you in the first part of my new house renovation series. There are a bunch of rooms, and in some of them there are still quite a lot of pieces of furniture. Of course, all of those have to be removed before I can start renovating here. And regarding that, I've already gotten quotes from 2 companies for the clearing out. That's possible these days. Completely hassle-free. You just walk through the apartment with your phone, film each room, and then send it to the company. And 1 to 2 hours later, you already have the quote on the table. The prices were pretty steep, I have to say. The first quote was 4,600 euros. The second one was even more expensive. That one was 5,900 euros. Well, I don't know what you think about it. Personally, I think it's too expensive. That's why I'm going to do it myself. I'd rather put that money into the renovation. I've scheduled 2 days for the whole thing here, where I'm going to go all out. Let's see if my plan works out. Of course, I've already done a bit of prep work beforehand. There were still things left in the house, some furniture that it was too late to throw away. And so, the first game changer was eBay classifieds. I immediately listed most of the furniture as free to give away. A few other selected pieces I put up as negotiable. And then I just waited to see what would happen. It turned out that the first interested people got in touch after a very short time. They then made an appointment, came by, dismantled the furniture themselves, and took it away. In the end, this helped everyone involved. First, the person who could still use the furniture. Second, the environment, because the furniture didn't have to be disposed of. And third, of course, me, because I didn't have to take care of the disposal myself. And in the end, I even made a few euros from it, so that was fine too. What was really surprising was that even our tiled table found a new owner. So it'll last a few more years. And once again, you see, those declared dead live longer. Nice. My decluttering tip number 2 is private bulky waste collectors who pick things up on site and then reuse them. I don't know if it's the same for you, but for us it feels like every 2 months there's a flyer in the mailbox from a Hungarian family asking whether you have any bulky waste to give away, and then they offer to pick it up. I called the number, made an appointment, and they came by. With a van, they loaded everything up and took it with them. There were really things among them where I thought to myself, how could anyone still make use of that? So they took old carpets, small cabinets, vases, really everything that was lying around. And they said that they refurbish the items and then sell them in Eastern Europe, in Romania, Bulgaria, and that's how they make their money. That's fine by me. I got rid of the furniture, and if they can still make use of something, then everyone benefits. Of course, there were still a bunch of things left that nobody wanted. Those have to go too, and that's why my decluttering tip number 3 is do it yourself. And I'll show you now how I go about it. So, let's start the 48-hour challenge. I'd say, let's start off easy. In Riga, we live upstairs with a small children's room. Almost all the furniture is still here too, nobody wanted it. So they're going out. Alright, starting with the mattress. Let's get going and save ourselves the trip down the stairs by dropping it down here. It was clear from the start that because of the amount, I'd have to make several trips to the recycling center, so when I started clearing out, I immediately sorted the materials. For example, the first 3 loads were just furniture wood from inside the house, and that way you end up saving a lot of time at the recycling center itself, because you don't have to sort everything there anymore. You only have to drive up to 1 container. You can unload everything there and don't have to go from 1 container to another. That makes things go really quickly. I've just decided that before I carry all this down, I'll get a cart to load it onto, because otherwise I'll have to handle everything twice. That's a good idea. If you don't have a trailer yourself, then I would recommend that you just rent a small van. You can find them at most hardware stores or at any vehicle rental company, and you can get one for under 100 euros for the whole weekend. That's also cheaper than renting a container. With a container, you actually pay twice, once for disposal and once for transport. Alright, let's get started. A little tip from me, when you're hauling away furniture, break it down as much as possible. That way you'll save space on your trailer and maybe even a trip or 2. And of course, you'll save time and money. Speaking of time and money, I'm already looking forward to the comments saying, yeah, you didn't actually save that much in the end, because as a DIYer, you're supposed to count your own labor time too. But in most cases, that's complete nonsense. You can only calculate that way if you actually have the opportunity to earn more money in your free time, or to earn any money at all. And that's usually not the case, unless maybe you're self-employed. But even then, you first have to make 6,000 euros in 2 days. The first load is full, and we're right on schedule. It took me 2 hours. Now we'll take it away first, and then continue upstairs. Of course, load security is important too, so we'll use this net here. That way we're done the fastest. Then it was straight off to the recycling center, which isn't particularly far away, about 4 kilometers in the neighboring town. And luckily, on Friday morning, there wasn't much going on, so I got through really quickly. And of course, it's always a good idea to choose times like this, weekday mornings and not Saturday mornings, because otherwise you might end up waiting in a long line. Of course, that also takes up time. Once I got back, I continued right away without a break. I still had some other furniture in the upstairs apartment that I needed to take apart. And there were also a few bulky items, like the armchair, for example, that had to be brought down as well. And then I really started to feel it in my bones. I'm not used to this kind of physical strain from my regular work. And then running up and down the stairs all day long. Yeah, that really took a toll on my legs. And now comes the final boss, the big sofa. I'm curious to see if I can get it out in one piece, but I don't think so. Oh, do you see that thing? Can it even be taken apart? And there's a part. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, now you can even convert the bed. Interesting. But really take it apart? I still don't know though. Looks like we'll need some force again. It's extremely sturdy, built. Well, I guess it just has to go down in one piece. It's not really heavy, but it's extremely awkward to handle. Now we should certainly be able to smoothly slide the object down much more easily. When you rummage through a house like this afterwards, you also find one or two oddities. Let me show you something. For example, these records here. They must be from the 70s and 80s. Judging by the faces. Or this here, I find this too. Also interesting. Have you ever seen something like this? It's a picture, but made of wax. Unusual. And this here as well. Take a look at this retro camera. I have no idea what year this is from. Maybe the 60s or 70s. Well, one thing's for sure, it's definitely older than I am. And maybe I can even add it to my camera collection. Yeah, okay. So the last room for today. Here, the living room. This cabinet is still waiting to be picked up. I put it up on eBay Classifieds to give away for free. Listed it. I'm glad about that too, because it would be a shame otherwise. And then take a look at this thing here. Check this out. Once, twice, 3 times, snap. That's a sewing machine, and it's also pretty old. That one will be picked up tomorrow as well. It's also too good to just throw away. So I have to say, I'm already pretty exhausted, but I'm still going to get rid of this last cabinet now. Then I'll be completely done with the upper floor today, right on schedule. And then I'll continue tomorrow. Alright, that's it for today. The next day I got started again, first thing in the morning. I had some serious muscle soreness, but I was still motivated. There was actually a bit more to clear out in the downstairs apartment than upstairs. There were especially bigger items down there, like the kitchen or the rustic one, the built-in cabinet in the living room. Those of course took time. That was a lot of wood that had to be hauled away. All in all, I drove to the recycling center 3 times. It all went super quickly, like clockwork. Of course, I also filmed a bit less, as you can see. That also saved me a lot of time, and in the end, it allowed me to stick to the schedule I set for myself. So, I'd say challenge successfully completed. I'm totally exhausted, but I think the effort was definitely worth it, because by doing it myself, I saved almost 6,000 euros. And I think that's already a really good achievement. All in all, I've now made 5 carloads of bulky waste to take away. And if you have any other ideas on how to save money when decluttering, feel free to write them in the comments. That way everyone else can benefit too. So I'm going to go soak in a hot bath now. And then things will continue here soon. This is all still the dismantling phase. But soon we'll start building things up again. And then there will be cool projects once more. And yes, that's it from me for today. Stay tuned. Take care. Ciao. I'm heading straight to the bathtub now.